Thanks, David. Another appeal filed today in the case of Stephen Avery in Manitowoc County Court. Avery serving a life sentence for the 2005 murder of Teresa Halbach. The 25-year-old woman went to the Avery property to take pictures for a car sales publication. The case received international attention from the Netflix docuseries Making a Murderer. Avery had his latest legal motion denied earlier this week. His attorney, Kathleen Zellner, asked for a new trial because of new evidence and witnesses that they believe point to a different suspect. In the notice of appeal filed today, it asked the Wisconsin Court of Appeals District 2 out of Waukesha to hear arguments. The former